But that's where the patterns come in. That's where that process comes in, because then you don't have enough X amount of time. Then you're trying to use your 1 dot session to trade crypto, or you're trying, you know what I mean? That's where this timing comes in. And then they're trying to minimize lessons by printing out 90 of the same worksheet the morning of. So that's where you just get these. Because when you go into teaching, it's also, you think, it's great, you know, value for money in terms of what I'm going to make a week, but with the cost of living, it's not. It's just not.
Who's to blame when a child is misbehaving, underperforming? Is it the teacher or the parent? We have Adam Cicanese on the show today. We talk about school life. We used to be school teachers and how we escaped the classroom to make a bigger impact in the world as artists, as creators. Adam is a graffiti artist, a mural painter, and he travels the world and does these amazing pieces of art. We talk about fatherhood. We talk about the art of escaping a 9-to-5 in general, and we talk about creativity and how to market it. All in this jam-packed episode. Excited. If you're a creator or you're itching to create and make a living out of it, this episode's for you. Let's get it done. Adam Cicanese.
Correct.
What a name.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
Dad's side, Italy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Dad's Italian, mum's French.
Cicanese. That's
Cicanese.
cool. Where's your mum from?
Croatia.
Yeah. What a mix.
I know.
What a mix.
Yes.
And you were born where?
I'm born here.
Yeah.
Mum's dad is born in Croatia, and then dad's born in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And from which side of the family did you get your artistic flair from?
Oh, no one in the family, man. They're all corporates. My nan on my mum's side sewed. She was into sewing. And my mum says that she's not, but she's pretty creative.
Yeah. And how have you ever gone to Croatia or Italy or anything like that?
Bit of time in Croatia a couple of years ago. It was really nice. My dad is getting a bit older now, so spend a couple of years with him. Not a couple of years. A couple of years ago, spent a couple of weeks with him back over there. My nonna on my dad's side's never been around. He passed away when my dad was young, so not as great a connection as what I do with the Croatian side of things.
Yeah,
more connected there. So Karkosi.
Yeah. Okay. So your journey begins in Perth, Western Australia.
Yeah.
Right. And how old are you now?
30.
30. Cool.
You know,
so you're 1995 or 96?
Yeah, 95.
Nice.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Ah, cool.
So I'm a 91 baby. 90s gang.
Yeah.
Right. And so for everybody listening at home, Adam used to be a former school teacher.
Like yourself.
High school?
Yeah, high school. Yeah. 5 years high school teaching. Worked in, I was a humanities teacher, so I was permanent to the humanities department. But then I also worked in pastoral care as well, so I was a year 11 and 12 coordinator when I finished up.
Oh, wow. And what got you into the school teaching? What made you go,
I was running, man, from getting a job.
Yeah.
And then because I did an undergrad and I was painting a lot, when the folks started to put the ropes on me, I was able to go back and do a dip head, and I knew that it was a year. And at the time I'd thought maybe all I need is one more year to be able to get enough mural work that I then won't actually have to start teaching.
How old were you then?
The last one, so it was 2018 when I did so I started teaching when I was 23.
Yeah. So let's go back to school. High school, what were you interested in? What were you
just art. My brother's quite athletic, so I'd always be around. Like I'd kind of follow him into whatever sport he was playing, but I was always in the last team, so it was a bit like you know what I mean, too awkward for I was decent enough that I could get by, but then once I'd go with my brother's mates and play in the top indoor team, I'd get cut, or I'd be on the bench, or I'd make the name for him, or I'd design the logo.
Yeah.
So always around it, having fun, but it was, and then on the side, because of that, I was drawn to graffiti because it kind of, or just painting, because it kind of allowed me to kind of build something of my own, and that was not linked with the stereotypical things like athleticism or whatnot.
So how do you get to become a teacher at age 23? When did you start uni?
Straight out of high school.
So you did well in your TE or ATAR?
Murdoch, they want to give you a degree, mate. Decent enough I could go straight into uni. And then just did a legal studies degree, so you don't need. It's just like a business commerce degree, and then from there I took a gap year to pursue painting, and then another half a year off because I had to get one more unit, and then plus a year and a half, so for 6 years, and straight into teaching.
Right. And why specifically humanities?
It was what aligned with my undergrad, but then I also really wanted to I wanted media arts as my minor, so the arts, so I was able to kind of align the both. So I did one more unit, did a media arts unit, and then I had the both. So when I started teaching, I was in the humanities department, but the principal at the time was also a visual arts teacher, and she knew that I painted, so I got to pick up some art classes pretty quick.
Nice.
So I was just trying to backdoor it to the department I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
As you do.
And when you were teaching art to the kids, was that more where you felt at home, or?
I hated it, eh?
Yeah.
No, because trying to teach something, I actually then liked humanities a lot more. It was this idea that I wanted to get in and teach art, but when you're teaching kids that not necessarily want to learn art, it's not as nice. So now running workshops and that, I love it because it's all people that want to sign up. And you can probably relate to that if you like teaching a subject that you love.
Well, I mean, I remember when I was learning to be a teacher, I did my phys ed major and my science minor, and I ended up being a maths teacher.
Yes.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Fortunately, there's a bit of maths in science, especially the physics side of things. Like it's formula, problem solving, and same shit. And eventually I did maths because I got given a 2-week contract at a relief teaching gig.
Yeah.
And I did really well, and they gave me a full-term contract for it, which also included a bit of science and a bit of PE. And I was just a versatile first-year teacher.
Exactly. You make it work.
Yeah. And then when that happened, they offered me a 4th term, and that's unheard of because 4th term, the year 12s are done, year 11s are wrapping up, and all these teachers have nothing to do, so they're going to pick up the slack. And I'm like, what's a relief teacher going to get any work? But they offered me it, but then I got a permanent job at that opportunity from a different school for just maths, and I took it because I was like, permanency, 1-term contract, you know?
Yeah.
And that was that. But I remember when I was doing random pickup dots, where it was like periods where I would fill in, they gave me a photography class and I loved it. But the kids, just like you said, they were not keen until I showed them what was possible. Yeah. So it really depends, right? But yeah, so you said you were there for 5 years. How many years in did you go, right, I need to get out?
The end of the 3rd.
Right. Yeah. And what happened in that 3rd year that made you go, I need to leave the education system?
Good question. I was really starting to associate more of my emotional response to some of the hypocrisy that was happening within the school, and that would sometimes cause a bit more frustration at the end of the day rather than my time in the classroom, because your time in the classroom is only X amount, and then the photocopier not working, everyone else crying about their lives, external factors that you hear in the staff room that I didn't align with myself, and I started to just leave and be like, man, this sucks. Like I loved the students so much. That's why I moved into pastoral care, because I was like more contact hours with the kids. Even when I wasn't teaching, then I would just go around, grab kids, have conversations, have meetings with them, and I'll have a lot more time to develop those relationships. But some of the other side of it was just starting to. I just thought, if you don't like your job, just leave it. You know what I mean? And that's, eventually what I did. But I just felt like there was a bit of that. And you can't talk in anyone else's context. Obviously, people have that job and it's harder to move due to whatever, having kids, family, whatever else. So it is a lot harder. But I also just thought I really love the positive side of teaching, but and you'd get that in any workplace. I don't want to say, you never want to say the wrong thing, but I just felt like there was a lot of butthurt negative teachers that hated their job. And I was like, ciao.
Yeah. I remember there'd be times in the staff room, there'd just be conversations about how rubbish the kids were. and all I hear is complaining, no solutions. I was like, and how are you dealing with the child? Are you talking to their parents? Are you talking to them? Are they at school right now where you can kind of work on them right now, or are you just going to sook? And, you can't help but sometimes fall down that same path, but also you have that enough care and self-awareness to go, well, those teachers just don't align with them. Who aligns with them better? I always say in every day almost in my sales calls when I talk about marketing, your unique selling personality is your difference when it comes to aligning with the person or your customer.
Yeah.
And at school, there's a group of humanities teachers, a group of maths teachers. They all teach the same things, but they have that personality that gives it that special spark in a different way. Some kids won't be for you, but some kids who you remember you had such a good connection with, you'll remember them for the rest of your life, and then vice versa. My favorite quote when I was learning to be a teacher was, most people live their lives being remembered by a handful of people, but teachers are remembered by thousands. And it always stuck by me. And I'm just like, how can I make that impact more apparent? And that's why I started the social media stuff. It's more than 1,000 now, right? So back to your end of third year.
Can I just comment there as well?
Yeah.
I think also I had a teacher that was been teaching for 10 years, and she'd always just said, like, when you leave the classroom, you need to think of it as you're the adult in the room, they're the child, and what could you have done differently that session? What could you have done differently that
1%
day?
better every time.
Yeah, and like, if you think of that, like, you meet them with frustration, you don't meet them with care, and I just used to think, like, if I ever got to this place where I was a grumpy ass teacher, I would leave. So a lot of the time when I would leave the classroom, if I was starting to have, everything was piling up or I was being grumpy or whatever, I would think, man, I could have done something differently there, because I let a child get under my skin. I attained to a greater level of care to what they thought of me. That's an issue for me, not for them. They don't care. They're just going to go to the next class, stir up the next teacher.
Yeah. And then why are they stirring you up? Are they bored?
Yeah.
Are they?
I hate the
You kind of got to get out of the system to look back in and go, man, I could have done so much better.
Yeah.
But then that environment is not the best place to, evolve you. It's weird, eh?
I know. Yeah, it's good. It's so interesting talking to you about it and just seeing how you, just watching the way you think about it is so similar to the way I thought about it as well.
Yeah.
Even now working with kids, how differently it is, and how now that I can look back on it, when you first come in, you're trying to like meet these parameters set by the curriculum, which we all have to do, but then you just lose. You're just in there trying to force all this content, and then now I'm like, that none of that matters at all. Like, it doesn't even matter.
No, and that's where I'm trying to say here, wherever you are in the world, even adults, like, they're trying to learn my workshops, and I'm like, are you ready for it? And they're like, I don't know if I have time yet. I'm like, well, you can learn the theory, but will you able to be applicable to what you know? And it's the same with kids. When I was teaching maths to them, my greatest success was being able to have 100% engagement in my classes. And the way I did that was I realized that they learnt better from a screen, not from me in person, right in front of them with the whiteboard. So I would record a little mini lecture about the formula or the topic they were learning that day, 7 a.m. that day.
Oh, you record
I'd get there
that
early,
day.
And I'd record it literally on the same whiteboard I would usually teach it live.
Yeah.
As a science teacher, of course I'm going to experiment.
Yeah.
Kids are my guinea pigs.
Yeah.
And I played it back to them on the TV and they loved it. Half of them loved watching it all at the same time and then doing their thing. And the other half had their own devices and locked in on the downloaded version. They can watch at their own pace.
Yeah.
And then the other half of the kids that would finish the main screen, if they forgot something, they could log in onto their thing and rewatch it if they wanted to. Yeah. Just like they do at home on their games tutorials and stuff, like, how do you beat this boss in this level? Yeah. They're watching that video. It's like when we were kids, we were using the cheat code magazines and websites. It's the same thing, and you just got to adapt to that. And I did that, and then you have a couple of kids who are disengaged, but that's one-on-one me time.
Then you can spend that time with them, because you have the other kids engaged.
And I'm like, okay, this isn't
that's the best thing.
This isn't revolutionary, but it should be more revolutionary. It's kind of harder to do that with other subjective subjects like English and HAS. But it's, like I just didn't find the time to be creative until it was, for me, COVID, right? So I want to have my year off in 2020 to try this career of mine that I was building. And
sorry, how long had you been teaching then?
3 years.
Okay. Oh, so you took the year. Okay.
Yeah. So 2018 was the first year after I finished university.
Yep.
2019 was my first permanent year.
Yep.
So I was 2 years in.
Yep.
And then that 2020 was meant to be my, let's see what happens with this business. And a week before COVID hit, I didn't even know it was no one knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
In January of 2020, I had a meeting with my mentor and he said, how can you buy your time back quicker? So I was building my wedding photography business, making a few sales, more money than I did as a school teacher. But I was like, well, during the week, I'm not doing as much. I'm doing editing, a bit of admin work.
Yeah.
Why not do some relief one day a week, just for shits? And then I went back to the school and said, hey, I don't need to do this, but I want to do one random day.
Yeah.
And they were desperate. They were like, can you do a PE class, year 7 PE class, and a year 8 maths class? I was like, no to the year 7 class, yes to the year 8 maths class. So it was just one class the whole time. And
you had the 4 sessions, so you had to come in each day for a random hour?
For one, yeah.
Okay.
But they were also my form class. So a Tuesday was like a double period.
Oh, that's cool.
But then what would happen is they would ask me if I wanted to fill the rest of the day with relief. And that's what usually happened. So I would do random other subjects. But by then I was the popular TikTok teacher.
Yeah, okay, so they all knew what was going
on. So those relief lessons were sick. But then COVID hit and I was an essential worker. So I had no other work.
So then you were doing the essential. So
and then I picked up more days and I was like, far out. That was lucky.
Can I ask you something? How were the teachers during that time? So you've come in as the popular TikTok teacher. How did that, was that kind of, taken on by some of the other staff?
I mean, no one really came up to me and called me out on it.
I
can see in their eyes that they were not pleased.
Yeah, because
but I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
They teach you at university you need to be a ghost online on social media. But I thought in this day and age where the kids' heroes are online, whether they're streamers or athletes or any celebrity out there, they see them online. Why not be online as well?
Yeah.
Where they see me all day and then they see me on their phone, they can't escape.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing anything dodgy.
No, I felt the same way, man. It was such a difficult.
There are teachers.
Well, it wasn't even difficult. I just didn't care. I was the same as you. Yeah. I didn't care, but then I just got to a place where I started pushing it in terms of just what I was doing on social media in terms of just limited clothing. I'd put up a painting video on my undies or something, and then that's when I was starting to be like, okay, I'm teetering on the edge here, and that was a choice that I was making because I'd already made the choice that I was leaving. So then on a Monday I'd have to be careful about how I you know what I mean?
I remember when I made the choice when I was leaving, I started to do some more borderline that's going to be a bit frowned upon. One example was there was a trend on TikTok where emojis would come up and you'd have to figure out the title or what the movie would be called or whatever, or it'd be really bad English and you'd have to kind of sound it out. But the trend was if you put on an Asian accent, you can actually guess what it was easier. It made it easier to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it went viral.
Yeah.
99% of the people were like, this is hilarious. Some Asian people were commenting going, dude, your Asian accent's better than mine. And then you have this very small percent of...
And that's the percent
very young 21-year-old white girls who were going, that's racist, insensitive, blah, blah, blah. This is 2020 when cancel culture was the woke thing really happened. Now, who gives a fuck? Right? I grew up watching Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, all those comedians who put on that accent, right?
Yeah.
But I stirred the pot, I poked the bear, I would reply to them. And then I realized that they were actually plotting a plan to really actually cancel me. So there's a Facebook group called Spill the Tea or something, 300K members in it. Just all girls complaining about shit and trying to pitchfork someone. Who's our victim this week? That week it was me. And I had some fans in that group because, law of averages. And they would message me saying, Sev, something's happening in this group. You should know. And they'd send me screenshots. And I'm like, holy shit. And they're all going, right, we need to draft up a letter to email the principal of this school. And they did it. And they sent it. So my principal had other shit to do. She was putting out fires about COVID, half the class. And I was, and she just blatantly said to me, she goes, Sev, I love what you do, but this isn't a problem I want to deal with right now. Yeah. Can you sort it out? Can you can you take care of it? And she goes, I have to follow procedure here, and standards and integrity has to be informed about this because it's a policy. But can you sort this shit out because they're about to do an investigation? Yeah. So I hit it all, and then I got a letter from. Have you ever gotten a letter from Standards and Integrity?
I never.
So what happens is they send you a letter.
Oh, so you got that? You got the next step, mate. You got the gold star. I never got there. I was out before that. Yeah. Okay.
So I got the letter, but the letter is registered to your postal address. Yep. So if you don't pick it up, a little letter is received saying you didn't sign for it. Yeah. So it's like one of those serve letters. You got served. Yeah. Anyway, I remember core memory going to the post office because I wasn't home to pick it up.
You knew it was that, yeah?
And then I wish I recorded it.
Yeah, that's sick.
So I'm looking at this letter. It's one of those tear open envelopes. I'm like, holy shit. Shitting myself, opening up. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Yep. As far as we can tell, you've done nothing wrong. It's been tossed out. And I'm just like, fucking beating. I'm like, But then I was like, I won.
Care, man. Yeah, I don't think they care.
I won.
I would also get students message me, and if I knew they were a student, like I still hold a TRB number now, I just never reply to them. Once they leave, like my old leaving year, I message them all now. But I just started getting their parents messaging me, man. That's when it started getting strange. Because
what would they say?
Just messaging me, either telling me they love my stuff, or like I'll get one of the mums from school, man, continually messaging me. But then I just started feeling weird about it. I was like, because you know why? Because say if you see them at school and then I just didn't like that dynamic. Like if the mum's hitting me up or whatever and I'm trying to say, thank you so much, it's so nice or whatever, and I was trying to build those boundaries in, but then I'll just have a few return customers that will message me and I'm like, nah, let's just tone that back. So just things like that but the students now, like I was so fortunate to have an amazing year that I took them the whole way through. I did 5 years with them and then I bailed on them for their last year. Yeah. It's amazing. But going back to what you're saying, man, I don't think it's I think at that time when I was putting myself out there, I thought it was a bit bigger than what it is. And always looking back, like the world's changing. Everyone's online. Everyone, the education department, they can't treat it the same as what they would have been able to treat it 5 years ago. Yeah.
What do you think the problem is now with the school system? Do you think it'll get better?
I just think it will change completely. I just don't think it's the same system as what it can be, just based on the way we engage.
Like it was already behind.
Our brains are changing.
Yeah, it was already behind when computers were starting to get into it, and then the internet started, and now social media, and now it's even worse with AI. Yeah, like I don't believe the education system can catch up at all. And what comes next?
Look at homeschooling. It's getting bigger and bigger.
100%.
Man, you used to be a full weirdo if your kid was homeschooled. Yeah. Now I'm thinking, I'll homeschool the little tacker. But it's
Steiner school.
Yeah, those sorts of things are starting to get way bigger where they're smaller. And that's, again, because the person in the room can give that group of students that level of care. You go to a government high school, there's 32 kids in every class, man.
50, 60 minutes of time. That's barely a minute, 2 minutes a kid. And
our dopamine release and how we focus with like swiping, it's hard on the teachers. So then you get I don't know. I don't know the answer, to be honest. I just think if you're a teacher, make content. No, I genuinely don't know.
I've had teachers hit me up saying, Sev, how do I escape? Yeah. How do I get out of this job? Like they were crying to me, like even former colleagues of the school that I went to, they tried to leave. They had to come back because they have a mortgage. And I'm like, step one, avoid a mortgage if you get into a teaching role. Yeah. Like there were teachers that I knew who were speed running into level 3.
Yeah.
Within their 3rd or 4th year. I was like, cool, man.
And chase money.
Yeah. What's the go?
Go to the resource
And then
industries.
some principals out there would say shit like, you're all on the path to principalship. Like, fuck, I am.
There's only one.
I'd rather not be a principal because they're doing more admin work than student like development stuff. Like, yeah, some can say we're innovative and we help the teachers who then help the students. I'm like, I got into this job to help the kids.
Yeah.
I'm not here to progress up the ladder to then help other teachers who may be underperforming. That's their fucking problem.
You just hit the nail on the head, man. I was getting asked, will you be the next holler? People saying, where do you want to go? You know how you always, every 6 months, you sit down, you do performance management. And I would say, leave. I will do the best I can until the day I leave, but I want to make it very clear to everyone at this school, I'm leaving. If it's not this year, it's next year. Don't put me. I said, I will. I'll come into meetings, I'll present, I'll get around you, I'll do whatever needs to be done, whilst I'm here 110%, but with the goal of building enough of experience here and building enough online that I can bail.
What patterns did you notice when you were teaching in different schools? Now, I say different schools so that we're not blatantly calling out the one school we both went to the most. What patterns did you notice that you were like, this is not right and no one's doing anything about it? I'll give you my example.
Go.
Right? So the PE teachers.
Yeah.
Friday morning tea. I don't know if you ever had this, but there were departments. They would take turns in the morning tea rounds.
Yep.
We had a PLC school at one school, and that's a professional learning community. Dog shit idea. And I'm a healthy guy, right? I don't eat shit. I hate fucking processed foods, packaged foods, all that stuff. And I get to the morning teas and it's just cakes and chips and shit, lollies, and it feels like I'm at a little kid's birthday party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and when it's our turn, we're expected to bring something in. So one time I got my wife to help me with the platter. Nice vegetable, like everything, like Italian sort of antipasta shit. Yeah. Put it down. Everyone's like, oh my God, that looks great. Amazing. Who brought that in? No one fucking touched it, which was great because I had a whole lunch to myself.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm going to Woolies and I'm bringing in some random cake that I'm not even going to eat, but I've just contributed to it. And I'm not going to eat any of this shit because it's all crap.
I didn't go. I wouldn't go.
It was compulsory for us.
Yeah.
We had to make an appearance.
I was that person that didn't go.
Yeah. So, and the contradicting thing was the PE teachers, the health teachers were all stuffing their face with this. They were like overweight. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then another contradictory thing is there were business teachers. When I asked them, what business are you currently running? They're like, I haven't had a business. I was like, what are you doing teaching business?
Yeah.
You're teaching out of a book with no context. And then it hit me. Most teachers have been in the school their whole life.
Yeah.
From primary school to high school to university, back to school. They've never left the outside world to have proper real world context.
Yeah,
to be
that
able to
became
tell
a fear
stories.
of mine, man.
I was like,
that became a fear of mine. That's why I got along with all the best teachers I got along with were the D&T teachers, man.
Yeah.
Because they're not woodwork dudes. They're like engineers.
Yeah.
They're like really bright dudes that are old that just want to come back in and do some crafty stuff, and they're really passionate now about doing something that was completely different to their career. They can look, even Mr. Hart, who I went to school with, I always say his name. He was my woodwork teacher. He was a legend, man, because he just had stories for days.
Yeah.
You'd want to sit and listen to him, and you know, that's a pattern in itself. Even now I think, man, I'm going to go as hard as I can, and then one day I'm just going to go back and teach.
Yeah, but you're going to have so many stories, and you're going to have such a greater impact. Like I had a greater impact when I started doing the TikTok stuff.
Yeah,
because my maths lessons were literally about like, all right, guys, here's what's happening. I've got a new business deal. I've got a new collaboration. I remember I got an email from Sony for the PlayStation collaboration.
Oh, they would have loved it.
And I remember the kids coming and I was like, guys, check this out. I put it on the screen. I was like, Sony wants to collaborate with me for a PlayStation. And they were like, whoa, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get that experience by just being a career teacher who hasn't lived outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm just thinking about. I'm trying to say something positive about those teachers.
There are.
That.
Okay. So
I don't want to be that person that's like, you've just been in school, because then a lot of them are able to have that time where they can travel, and they have a really traveled experience, and then they bring that back to the classroom, and they've lived somewhere else for a certain amount of years and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, if that happens, that's great.
Yeah.
But when the ones that go on holiday for 2 weeks to Bali because that's all they can afford because they got a fucking mortgage, or the 6 weeks of summer that they're really just resting and trying to just unwind, and they're probably drinking. The drinking culture that I found.
Yeah, bad.
Fuck.
Bad. And I don't really drink. I know I messaged you for a drink today.
Yeah.
On a Friday, I'm trying to have one drink.
Well,
I'm trying to bring
whiskeys and shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a drink on a Friday and relax. I'm always working. So like now with the little man, I'm trying to chill out. But wait, what was I saying about teachers?
There are good teachers. There are brilliant teachers. And the best teachers out there are doing it not for the money. But unfortunately, there's a lot of teachers out there who aren't financially literate, and they made not the best, most optimal choices. So they have to figure out how to make more money. And
that's where the patterns come in. That's where that process comes in, because then you don't have an X amount of time. Then you're trying to use your 1 dot session to trade crypto, or you're trying. You know what I mean? That's where this timing comes in. And then they're trying to minimize lessons by printing out 90 of the same worksheet the morning of. So that's where you just get these. Because when you go into teaching, it's also you think. It's great, value for money in terms of what I'm going to make a week. But with the cost of living, it's not. It's just not.
Who's to blame when a child is misbehaving, underperforming? Is it the teacher or the parent?
Sorry to interrupt one last time. This is actually a sponsored post. If you need to run ads for your service-based business and you don't know how, there is one agency I would trust in the entire country and the world probably, Where You, spelt W-H-E-R-E and then the letter U. They literally teach you how to run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and create a whole funnel for you to get more business. And I use them myself. They've taught me how to do it, and I get all of the business, which is fantastic. If you want to learn how to run ads properly and dominate your industry and win all of the clients, hit up Where You. Back to the episode.
It's teach 100%.
So when I remember this one kid was misbehaving, or there was something online that I was talking about. I made a rant about this. I need to find the video on TikTok, but I was talking about the teachers not being good enough.
Yeah.
And I got DM after DM from other teachers from around the country and the world going, how dare you? It's the parents. And I'm like, okay. So hypothetically, let's say the parent, tough draw card. The parent's just shit. The kid comes to school and they're not better off because their parents are shit. Right. Blame the parents. Who's their next best bet to change their life? The teachers.
But then it's that process of blame. How's that kid ever going to get a chance, man? We're all sitting around trying to blame someone. How about someone just fucking helps the kid?
Yeah.
Stop looking at someone to blame.
So that's what comes to student services, pastoral care. The school.
That's why I didn't care about what my kids' grades were.
One of the schools that I taught at, they didn't even have student services. And they also had no special needs section. It's all one.
Yeah.
Good luck, have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
That's based on their hours, based on their numbers, and based on that's what's so super difficult, man. Like,
Man. What else would you notice? I noticed that the catchment rate, a public school kid is worth $10,000 a year to the school. Right? So the more you get, the more budget you get. But then you don't see the budget get spent on anything. Things get broken and never fixed. Or they have this innovative program that they're trying to market on Facebook to get more catchment, but no one gives a shit. And the kids are not any better because there's no real programs to help the kids in need. It's like a politics within politics.
Within politics, yeah. And that's why I felt like some of the good teachers were the ones that rebutted to the system.
Yeah.
Like one of my the teachers I was super close with in humanities time, and he knows who he is, absolute legend. Man, he didn't give a shit about anything else going on in school. And I'm like, why? He's like, man, he's like, F that. Does nothing for my classroom, does nothing for the kids I work with.
I've got
nothing like the same. And he was the best teacher, most knowledgeable, and would genuinely, if a kid was upset, man, he'd go find him at lunch all the time, have his lunch with him.
I have the same story.
But everyone else in the school thought he was a bit of a dick, man. Yeah. And legend, but they thought he was a bit of a dick. He didn't want to get involved. At staff meetings, he just passed. Those ways, pass. But he's the brightest one in the room. And then you'd have people like me that's trying to get involved and talk and whatever, trying to, do my best to look a certain way or feel a certain way just because I cared, where he was older as well. And he just didn't care, man. He was like, I only care about the classroom.
That's very similar story with a humanities guy from one of the schools I taught at. And he was across the hall from me. And I remember the first day I came into that staff room, because we were in the same building, he was sooking about how his vest for schoolyard duty was too small. And I came in, I was like, noted. I'm going to win this guy over. He looks like a really cool person I can learn from. So I went on Amazon, found the exact vest in his size and ordered it. Got it the next day, came in and said, hey, man, I got you a vest. And he goes, just looks at me like I was the fucking Lord. And he was like, what the fuck? It's taken 3 weeks for him to complain and never get it, and then for me to understand it and pay $20 out of my own pocket and give it to him. Mates for life. Like, that's how you come in, guns blazing.
You're talking about patterns. Money, right? Now, we all get paid the same. We all know our levels. So everyone, it pulls that out of it. But in a way, it almost makes people even more stiff. Because I felt a fear around telling people where I was going on a holiday. Because I worked 2 jobs, man, the whole time. Like, I worked every single weekend. I had gastro bloody once a month because I was calling a sickie to try and get a mural done. But it got to a point, man, where I couldn't say. Like, I would, for example, week 8 or week 9, I'd have gastro. I'd finish on a Thursday. I'd fly to Sydney, punch out a mural, fly back in on a Monday morning, be back in the classroom for a Tuesday. This would happen, I'm working heaps. Then when we would get to holidays, I'd be like, I'm going to Europe or I'm going here. But it's hard to get, how are you going there, man? Flights are so expensive this time of thing. Or why, like, and I felt
Did
like.
they ask you that?
Yeah, I used to get it didn't feel like, say if you told me you're going on holiday, I'd be like, man, that's fire. Tell me about it. Where are you going? If you get any links, I'll be going there soon. I want it like, whereas I really felt this,
that's classic corporate.
I was trying so hard to be able to build things outside of work so I could go and travel to work or paint or whatever. And then I just felt like I almost couldn't talk about it. Whereas when I'm sitting around with the boys, I talk about you're so excited for others. And I really started to feel this just like people just weren't happy for you. And I was like, man, I'm happy for everyone. Like, I want you to go everywhere. And then I was getting this. So then I stopped talking about where I was going. I just became very personal, would only talk about work. Yeah. Until I kind of remember up. And I still have really positive relationships with heaps of teachers, but just some teachers now, I just remember it being like, why are you butthurt, man? Just work harder. So,
I remember when I started to get a bit more popular, and I had this idea to dress up as a hot dog and go to Bunnings and try the hot dogs and review hot dogs. It's like a hot dog cannibalism sort of skit idea. I was at near the school that I taught at, the Bunnings near there, so I could bump into teachers. I did. I bumped into one in the car park. And this was already after I'd left the school. She looked at me and she goes, oh, is this what you're doing with yourself? And I was like, by then I was already making double my school salary. Yeah. So I was like, I'm having a lot of fun.
I review it. You want to buy a hot dog? Yeah.
So I was, at the peak of the first year out of school, after 2020, I made $500,000 from wedding photography, first year out, my personal brand collaborations, and halfway through 2021, people came to me to start getting me to teach them to learn how.
Yeah.
And I had 3 different businesses going. There's a lot of work, but I could handle it.
And you also want to prove it to yourself.
And I was
you say yes to everything.
Yeah, and I always flex the numbers and stats going, in the first initial 3 months, I doubled my school salary, working 10% of the time as a wedding photographer. Because you do 15 weddings a year, that's 15 weekends. Yeah. That's nothing. And then I think it was 6 times my principal's wage, or probably 4 times my principal's wage. I was like, there's your principalship.
Yeah, exactly.
My pathway to principalship is leaving.
And you don't need to manage anyone else.
Yeah.
But also, like something that I like to think of now is like my two bosses that I really looked up to are way more intellectual people than me. Man, they've both left to start their own thing.
Yeah.
One of them's starting a bar in Thailand, and one
That's
of them's
dope.
it's dope. I'm going to go there this year. And one of them's a celebrant. But like the same thing, and now they've both messaged me.
It sounds like Daniel Del Barella.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
But yeah, it's cool to see that two of the people I work with then, because I was always saying, man, I'm leaving. And I was like, these people are brighter than me. You can leave too. And now they're messaging me like, man, one's doing 3 days and one's quitting altogether. And I'm like, it's sick. Not to say you don't want good teachers to leave, but yeah, it's awesome.
So we're going to shit on the education system for a while, but what's been your favourite moment as a teacher in the classroom? Do you have a core memory?
One of my students, and I just got to be careful how much I say. I moved in pastoral care quite quick, so when I got there, my first year 7 class was this year group of kids, and in my very first art class, I had the student in he was in year 7, and he just had it tough, man, the whole way through. And then I picked him up when he was in year 9, and just the relationship I built with him. I just didn't think like I was just super supportive of him. I saw how much he needed, and it was to a point where I saw how much my opinions mattered to him. And there was a few individual occasions where I caught him with a bong, or I caught him with cigarettes, or I caught him with a lighter, and that was no longer, you know what I mean? Like we'd confiscate off him, try and call someone. No one's calling no one. You try and put it through the process, and it would just never get followed up. And as a benefit, you could get him back into the classroom. But I just remember those sorts of moments where the value in what I did for him by, taking the onus or helping him kind of manage that, provided him a greater level of care, instead of resulting in me being like, that's a bong, I'm calling the police, we're going to do this, you're going to get taken off your parent, they're going to have to fill in this, your old girl and whatnot don't already want you there or whatever, because of whatever's going on at home. And as a result, I don't see him for a month. So it was like in a rough school, I had a lot of hard, like rough kids. So it was great at that time, and he's an adult now. And then that was in year 9, and then by year 11, 12, I was helping him get a job, and then now he's messaged me and he's got that job. So just to see that the whole way through with those certain individual students, they're the memories, man, that I'm like, okay, tick the box,
you're full U-turn, I had a kid in one school that
that wasn't really one like good scenario, but just that feeling of helping a kid for that. Yeah.
One year 9, one kid in year 9 that I would be helping out, he hated me. His girlfriend hated me as well, and it was just like a terrible time. It was just that one kid, like, oh, I've got this kid again, try to break through. And you just chip away at him, And then eventually it was like, oh, you're actually really cool, because I had sneaker collection and he vibed with that. And then eventually I left the school because I got my permanency at a different one. He said, sir, can you come back? This is shit. I didn't realize like what we had until it was gone. And then I would just message him every now and then, even though he was still at school, year 11 and whatever, on Instagram. But I just like give him a little bit of advice, whatever. And now he's like in his 20s and he's progressing through life and doing this and this and this. We'd have calls every now and then, and just like, yeah, man.
It's the same thing.
That impact is so cool. But one of my favourite little kid stories, because I did a relief as a year 1 science teacher, kid come up to me it was an art class, because we were teaching. It was science, but it was art. We were doing toucans on a piece of paper, and that you can make the toucan with shapes. You had to cut them out. Yep. And one shape was a circle. It was like level difficulty, like 100 right now. It's expert. And they were like, how do you do a circle, sir? And I was just like, cut it out. And then that moment, that last piece of paper dropped, they see the circle and they're just like, whoa. And then they'd all come up, ask me one by one. And I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to show everyone. And everyone's just like, boom, 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 just minds exploding. I'm just like, I am the king.
I'm the king here now.
I am the king. I am the captain.
I like big boys club at the school I was at, in terms of like a lot of the lads, they would just play basketball, they'd stay on the courts, because I was like the teacher would go out there and tell them the bell's gone, but then try and like shoot a hoop with them or whatever else. So I had this banter with them. But then whenever there was a brawl or whatnot at the school, man, they'd just pop up, man, and just tell the younger kids, like, get away from Cicanese. Like, do you know what I mean? There was a bit of that. And they were just funny as, like, I had one girl going off at me in my class. She was just going off. You could hear her from the next class. One of the boys just walked in and said, "Oi, Ligma." And she said, "What?" She goes, "What?" And he goes, "Ligma nuts, bitch. Sit down. It's Cicanese's room." But just like I always had these two boys that were year level 12 that would always pop up, and they just like put them back in the line straight away. And I wouldn't have been that quick, so I thought it was hilarious. Like I had another same boys. Like I had my year 7 class, all rowdy as, slapping each other, and they're quite rough kids. I'm trying to yell at them, they didn't care. One of the boys just come past and just kind of like said, "What's up, sir?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he just goes like, and staunched all the year 7s. They all know him. To me, that dynamic is not the same. Man, the kid's just like levitate like into line. And he's like, "Yeah." And then like when he walks around the back line, he's like, "Got you, sir." I'm like, "Yeah." Like they were just popping up all the time.
Oh, that's dope. That's so
that kind of social, yeah.
So when you're okay, let's move it to the fifth year of school. You're now really edging out of the classroom. What was your strategy? What was your plan that you set up for yourself to leave?
At that point, I was already 1 year into making content every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd made that decision the year previous, in the 4th year. And I was cutting down my hours, so I was now at 0.6. And I tried quitting in the January.
Do you have a mortgage?
Not at that stage.
Okay.
I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Right, so
I think I was like a year into having a mortgage, yeah.
I'm not obsessed with mortgages. It's just one of those things that I see it becomes a shackle to what career you've chosen.
I only got the mortgage based on the current save. It was not going to be a shackle. I was like, it was going to be more. I had never rented at that point in time, so I'd always lived at home, which I was fortunate enough that I had those relationships with my parents that I was able to save. So I wasn't considering my next move around X amount going out of work.
That's awesome.
I wanted to put myself in that situation.
I glorify that.
Yeah.
I glorify that.
So I was working 2 jobs to get to that point where that wasn't going to be the outlier.
Did you have a missus by then?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah. So I was just working, whatever else. I had a partner when I first started teaching. We'd split. I was a few years on my own, and I was just cruising. I was just working 2 jobs, saving, getting ready for the next move.
All right. So you're at 0.6, and how often do you get mural gigs at this point in time?
So I was 3 days a week, Monday to Wednesday teaching, and every Wednesday night I would drive to a site and set up a mural, start painting Thursday morning, finish up Sunday lunchtime, might have gastro on the Monday, be back in the room.
What's with this gastro shit?
It's the only way I could get off, because all the kids used to have gastro, so it's the only way I could get another sick day with no one wants to ask you if you're shitting yourself. Okay. So if I said, "Oh, I've come down with gastro," I'm painting on the Monday again, I'll be back in the room on Tuesday, I'm feeling better. No one ever, if you say, "Oh, I've got bad migraines" or whatever, they're like, "Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, you hydrate." Where if you say, "Man, I've had the shits all weekend."
But how often do you get, how often?
Oh, no, in the last year I had it 2 or 3 times, which I never had, because I had 2 or 3 trips that had aligned with really cool opportunity. I kind of knew I was leaving, and this is where it got awkward. It's like the people above me, they knew. They're like, "Mate, this bloke, he doesn't have gastro." But I was just traveling for work. So I was teaching Monday to Wednesday. I was doing my best to obviously be in the classroom. Monday. I wasn't pulling the piss, but I would just paint Thursday to Sunday and then continue teaching. And I knew I could only do that for so long.
All right, let's go to another timeline. We'll come back to the teacher timeline. But let's go to your art timeline.
Yes.
How old were you when you first picked up a pen, paintbrush, oil pastel?
Man, I have a sketchbook from when I was super excited by a website I'd found around graffiti from years 5, 6, and 7, where I was sketching most nights a week or whatever. I was drawing from, pre-primary year 1. Like my mum's got a book of all my drawings. But then I was, lit up by the idea of letters when I was in like year 6. And then, I was drawing everything at that stage, but I was kind of, that's where it went. And then, year 9 started with spray paint. So I was 14.
Right. And when you started spray painting at 14, is that the cliche you were tagging shit illegally or?
A bit of both, like a lot of both. But it was like I didn't really ever want to, man, this is going to sound like I'm trying to like validate while I was doing it. Like I didn't really want to vandalize anything, man. I just wanted to paint big colourful things that might that sounds like what I mean is like I grew up in Spielwood. There were so many abandoned areas, man, and I used to go to them and they were already painted and I'm like, that looks shit, I can do something better than that. So I wanted to know how that was happening, and then it also that thing of being something that was hidden or whatever, I was attuned to that. I wanted to understand why that was happening. So that was probably why I was drawn down the dark arts, because at the time it was exciting.
Yeah.
So I just started.
Do you have any? Are you influenced by anyone like overseas, that in the graffiti scene?
Yeah, heaps. I think like in Perth, I was always influenced a lot by a lot of the older graffiti scene here, because that's what you're growing up looking at on the line. So like the Ferro line, I was always influenced by a lot of the writers that were painting along the line. And then when I started going over east, there was like the DTS crew, which is like a lot of your Brisbane riders are really good. And then Perth, we had like 21st Century crew, which is incredible, and a lot of the guys from that crew. AM crew, which is so all these different kind of crews that had certain riders in it that I was really inspired by. You'd kind of follow, like they'd have Tumblr and they'd be releasing where their crew's going, like G-Back crew or something, or and then there was like Break and those guys from Melbourne and Baylor and everything. So you'd start to kind of just be intrigued by their painting here. And then, you know, to give you an example, one of the Brisbane riders, when I finished up uni, I'd followed him from like Tumblr and Instagram from when I was a lot younger. And I was in Hanoi and I was driving around on a scooter, and this was when I was 22, and I was like, man, I know that roller door's just been done. I wonder if he's in town. Found the guy, messaged him, met up with him for burgers that night, and now we're still mates now. I was spending a week together and just painting hard out. But it was that same sort of thing. I was kind of navigating, you know, those crossovers, and I saw that they was painting a different state, but both from Oz. And
so you were doing that, and you were at uni at the time. That's awesome. And then how did you start to transition into getting paid work? What was your first paid gig like?
I got $300. 100 of it was spent on paint.
Mm-hmm. So you reinvested your first bit of cash back into the business.
Back into the business, mate. And
nice.
And I did it with one of the boys. So we got $100 each, and I paid for the bottle of Jack Daniels that night.
Nice.
Because we were like celebrating, like, mate, we've done it. We've done it.
So how did you get the gig?
She was my mum's hairdresser down at Coogee Plaza. Shout out to Amanda. I've actually asked her for the photos since then. I don't know how old we were. We were young, man. 17. I don't know, 17. But yeah, so that was kind of how it started, and then again, like once you start getting, like going back to what I said, I didn't really care around what vandalizing certain things, and it kind of went full circle where I started to get offered more and more painting jobs on bigger public walls. So I was like, well, this is sick. I don't need to run anymore.
Nice.
I can just paint.
Yeah.
And eat and meet them. And
now, what about the business side of things? Because I know that for a fact that a lot of most creators are terrible business people. They just want to create. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So where did you start to learn, okay, I need to get an ABN and all that shit?
Like my family is a lot more orientated that way than the graffiti side. I was the outlier. They're all business. So that side of things was what I'm really grateful for. And that's what I suppose I'm fortunate enough now to kind of always have someone in my ear. Like a lot of my mates have really successful businesses. So they're always like, man, are you doing this? Or, man, do you have a credit card?
Nice.
So yeah, so that sort of thing there kind of fell into place. But that definitely has been, or it is, the hard part, because you don't want to do that. You just want to paint more. But the more that I've pumped the brakes on the painting and taken time to work on the processes, and yeah, it just builds out more revenue over time.
Nice. What's been your okay, so let's continue on. So you're now in your late 20s.
Yes.
You're getting gigs left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing your average gig price, or?
Yeah, I can talk a bit about that anyways. Like now you just charge per square meter. At the time I was getting handed lump prices at like, $5 to 10 grand.
Far out.
A wall.
5 to 10 grand to tag a wall.
Yeah, well at that point I'm not tagging. So I'm now
I'm trying to stir you up.
Yeah.
5 to 10 grand to make a piece of art.
There we go. That's the one.
On a wall.
But no, I was starting to get handed margins again. I was like, "Whoa, this is sick." I didn't know, and that the first time I ever got handed a margin that looked like that, it was like $7,000, for example, and it was because of a COVID budget that wasn't getting spent in Melbourne was now getting spent by brands in Perth. So I was getting called from marketing companies over east to paint murals for, like, one was for Hendrick's Gin and one was for YouTube. At the time, I thought it was the most exciting thing ever. Really, they didn't give a shit about the artwork at all, and it was just marketing dollars that they had to spend, and they were able to use that through art.
Take that money.
And then I was using that and the paint from that to then just go and paint pieces anyways.
And buy Jack Daniels.
I hate Jack Daniels. Yeah, so that's kind of when I was like, whoa, this could work if I can kind of tap that. And that's what the biggest thing is, what you're going back to around creatives is you need to take the L on how creative you can be with certain jobs if you want to make that moolah, baby. Because you need to be able to balance between, okay, this is work and we're going to install this branding campaign for a company, but as a result, then we can do X amount of fun shit. And a lot of the people that I paint with that haven't made it out, they by choice, they say that they would rather have a job and use that money to paint because that job doesn't crush or kill on their creative side. Whereas I choose to be creative all the time. And my belief is those jobs, like installing a campaign mural, builds my skills to then be more creative over here. And over time, I'm going to become a better painter than you because you paint less because you're working. And then when we go painting together, I'm going to light you up. That's how I try.
That's gold, man.
That's how I think of it,
and that's what I believe in too. If you want to be creative, you won't be able to be your best creative because you can't put as much time in it as you wish you can. If you get to create for a job, you're not working. You're just honing your craft every single day and getting paid to do it. Yeah, what a great deal.
The best, isn't it?
What a great deal.
Yeah. And then if you've made that choice, so you have, some days it might suck ass for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not long.
Yeah. But then you can delegate it. Like the business side of things, you can delegate. So my wife, she's an interior designer and she's...
How beautiful it is in here.
Right. She's made this set.
Yeah.
And she wants to teach people how to sketch.
Yeah.
Right? She loves the freehand sketching. She's so good at it. But she doesn't want to do the business side. And I'm like, right. I've learnt that side.
Yeah.
I don't want to teach people how to create.
Yeah.
I think it's too subjective. You either can create or you haven't found the creative that you're really good at yet.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're already like...
And you need to find that yourself. Like what you're saying about teaching create. You're not going to do that for them.
There's kids out there saying, Sev, I want to become a photographer like you. Sev, I want to do this and this and this. I'm like, good, go do it. Go do it for a while.
Yeah, go do it
Tell
for 2
me
years.
how you feel after, because the other thing I've noticed is, and this is a topic I really wanted to cover with you, is when you're creating for the love of it, it's art. But when you start getting commissions or getting asked to do it as a job, it becomes a job. How do you nurture that creative versus it's now a job? Because you're going to paint a mural. How do you protect it so that they're not going to come back to you and go, oh, we don't like that. Can you do it like this? Because me as a photographer, I'm going to bring my best skill set and my vibe. There's no redos. With videography, it's a bit different because they're like, oh, we didn't think like that. I hate that. And I never wanted to create for money. I started my TikTok account 10 years ago. And 11 years ago this year. I did it because I wanted to put stuff somewhere so the students can see the photos.
Yeah, okay,
that's why I did it. But then people started following me and then whatever. And then eventually the Instagram stories came out. I was like, someone said to me, Sev, you should do some Instagram stories about yourself. I did. I'm like, hey guys, I'm out here at wherever this is. And then I had 120 people rock up to one meetup once.
I see.
I did Sev's tours around in 2018.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. And then that evolved into portraits, which evolved into weddings, which evolved into paid work, which involved in me to go, I hate this. Yeah. Not because of burnout or anything, but I love birding. I want to get my big 600 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
When I can afford it. It's $15,000. And I just want to prop up on the Canning Highway Bridge and just take a photo of that pelican on the the post.
That's what you want to do?
And it's just going to be the eyeball right there. But I'm going to be like 50 meters away, right?
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Have you done that? Have you done it yet?
No.
Yes.
No.
So mine is, I'd always said that I only want to paint. Sorry, I only want to work enough to be able to paint one piece a week, or one day a week where I get to work
Amazing.
on what I do.
Yeah.
Am I there yet? No. But once a week now, I get about 3 hours sometimes. And that's where I think the development of this content angle and what you were saying, linking it back to what you were saying around job and art in terms of one being the creative and one being just the mural that you provide for a client, is like, even the mural I provide to the client, I find that hour or 3 hours on that job where I can be overly creative to create a piece of content, a video or whatever, because to me it's still telling a story. There's a narrative to it, which is what that I bloody love. And a lot of the time now, it's that funny 15 seconds that I love more than the whole week. And it's that creates more work. And now I'm getting clients come to me that are commercial clients, and they'll say, also, can you quote this or whatever? And they'll say, also, what's the go with the content around that when we like, so when you post it, are you going to do like a video, or how's that going to work? And I can see they've just watched my shit and they want to use my, and I'm like, oh, well, actually, if you want to do that now, so I can see that's becoming an avenue too. And that's just based on the fact that they're just seeing the fun shit, and they're like, they want to be a part of that, which is what you were
branding.
saying. Yeah, which is what you, which is why people love you.
I got asked to do a
we're
wedding.
Both so big, we're like missing each other. But we're stretching out.
I got asked to do a wedding, and they asked me, Sev, we want to be married in October of this year.
Yeah.
And I said, cool. Which specific date? They're like, well, there's 4 weekends in this October. You tell us which weekend you're available. And I was like, whoa, that's sick. So based on my specific availability, that's going to be your anniversary for the rest of your marriage. Wow. And all 4 weekends crazy. I was available. So I was like, do I get to pick and choose, or do I let them choose?
I might go down south this weekend. Yeah.
And they hired me before the venue.
Okay, so you were first.
I was first.
We're getting married. Let's get Sevs on board. Then we'll build out. Then we'll build out.
But I also did a market research. I was like, okay, so why did you choose me? They're like, you're a vibe. I'm like, do you like my photos? They're like, yeah, we like your photos, but you're a vibe. So the art became the secondary.
Yeah,
it was me who they wanted, and this is what creators miss out on if they don't market properly. If they brand themselves, them as the personality, then that's the big one. It's not a mural. It's Adam.
Yeah.
We got Adam to make this. No fucking way. When I went down the aisle before the bride came down at most of these weddings post the TikTok era. No. I would go down to go see the groom, and I had my signature, the lint roller.
Yep.
Probably should use it today.
Yep.
I would go up, and then I'd just do like a final touch up of him, like just a little bit,
those little bit,
and everyone's like, "Whoa!"
What?
But they're not just looking at that; they're like, "What the fuck? It's Sev! Holy shit, it's Sev!"
Yeah.
I've kind of like taken over the wedding a little bit. It's like hiring Maroon 5 to be your band at the reception. It's like, we got Sev, right? They're not really phased as much about the photos, but they got them, they loved them, but they're like, we had Sev. No way. Right? So you got like Banksy, right?
Mm.
Banksy, I read about him all the time, and like there's all these marketing things and all that, and how he did that thing in New York where he popped them up for $60 each and nobody knew it was the originals. And then that one that auctioned, it like ripped and all this shit. That's like, everybody wants to become Banksy now, right? But he's like an outlier. What does Adam look like in your legacy? This is kind of towards the end of this podcast question, but I'm going to come back a little bit. But while it's on top of my mind, where do you want to see your art go next?
You shouldn't you take inspiration from the past, but you shouldn't relate yourself to their outcomes. And I think that ours is where in this era where we can't predict what the next few years are going to look like, but we can jump in as much as we can to be in the hot seat when it launches. What I mean by that is I'm not like Banksy in the fact that the installation side of things that he did, I'm not doing, right? But the application that I make towards building out a sick idea around content, and maybe that has 3 parts to it and this person in it, and as a result it ends with a final painting, and I'm selling that, and there's this big ploy that gets everyone involved. that, although you can't link that in any way to being as genius as Banksy, is something that I see now as being really amazing and an opportunity. So it's not like a definitive answer, what am I going to look like or what's my legacy going to look like? It's like, I'm just going to keep pushing the goalposts as hard as I can every day. With any creative idea, I'm just going to triple down on it and get involved. Whoever, I'm happy to go out on a whim and ask this person, man, you want to get in this idea or whatever, because as a result, I'm looking for those needle in a haystack opportunities where I can create things that are remembered, like Banksy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for. And I think that the only way we can do that, like you said, is by doubling down. And as a part of then painting some shit campaign murals sometimes, it's still another opportunity and me either meeting or building a relationship to build out this grandeur idea that's coming.
The burning question, and apologies for everybody at home listening, I haven't done this in chronological order, but the burning question is, when it came time to go from 0.6 as a teacher, which means 60% workload, to 0 to finally take the leap, you obviously handed in your notice. Yeah. How far in advance?
I tried quitting in January. I finished up in August.
Okay.
So I then quit in June, July.
Yeah.
And actually thinking about it now, it has been 3 years. I was seeing my now partner. We've been together 3.5 years. So we were just getting together then. We have a baby together now.
So at the time when you were leaving, what were your financials situation like in terms of savings, debt, all of that?
It was before interest rates had skyrocketed. So I was paying $600 a month on my, not even, $500 a month on my mortgage, and I had a housemate. So I was only paying what I would pay if I was renting.
Nice.
I owned my car, and I had a plan for my phone.
And you had savings?
And I had savings.
Right.
Yeah. And I went and smoked that savings. How's this? I had savings. When I finished, I went to Europe, smoked all of it, and then got a tax bill when I got home for 10 grand.
Oh, shit.
And then started with like 5K. And I was like, that's killer. I just got to work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back against the wall.
That's fine. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So actually, no, not in the city. I left thinking, killer, big summer, had saved, I think I'd saved like, I don't know, 30K, 40K. And then by the time it ticked over, that was August. By the time it hit January, I owed 10 and had, I don't know, 10 in my account. It's good rock and roll.
Now you're on top of the taxes?
Yeah.
Very on top of the taxes.
Yeah. Now you got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bass is sorted.
Yeah, I just pay an accountant now. I shouldn't have lazy. That's why I'm not. Yeah, I just pay an accountant to do it all.
Tell me about your last day at school. Do you remember it?
Teaching or student?
Teaching.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It was a weird one. I had the kids at an unsettled time where we were really low staffing wise, man, like pretty critical. I wasn't able to tell the kids I was leaving. And then the second last day, they were all found out. And I'd been with them for 5 years. Made me a bit resentful in a way because I was like Devo that I couldn't tell them. I wanted to tell them and celebrate. And then I felt hard done by because I had kids on the last day going, oh, are you leaving? And I took all these kids for 5 years. So it wasn't as bit anticlimatical, I think. Yeah. But the most amazing thing was I got to go back. I went to their so I went to the ball for the year 12s that year, and then I went to their graduation. And the following year I went to my main group of kids, students' graduation, and I spoke at their graduation and everything else. And yeah, that was killer.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
But my boss the year before said a better speech than me, so I was a bit upset about it.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't have a ceremonial finish because I left quietly into the night in 2019.
Yes.
And it was a sabbatical kind of. So it was like let's see what happens.
Okay.
And I wasn't in it long enough to, have my statue or whatever. But I remember I think it was like 13th of December 2020. There was one more half week to go, but I just decided to take a week off because it's like it's Christmas, who cares? COVID.
You're done, man. You're also done. You're done, aren't you?
To be honest, halfway through that year, I was keen on leaving anyway because I'd booked out the rest of the next year of work. I was swimming in cash. I was like,
how are you booking them? What you obviously used social media guru at the time, but what were you using? Were you using ads, or were you
It was a lot of different strategies that I'd picked up. So there was a thing called One Flare originally. So One Flare is this quoting kind of thing.
Like Fiverr?
No, kind of, but different. So what you do is the person looking for the client or the tradie or whatever the service, they would put in their details saying, hey, I'm looking for this, I'm in this area, here's my budget. And then it would ping out the people who had those specific metrics who would more likely accept it. But then you'd get the notification as well as your competitors in that same space. And the first 3 to submit a quote that would get the details. So you couldn't call the quote, but the credits to quote were like 15, 20 credits was like $15, $20.
Okay.
And you could top up the credits with money. So I had $500 credit and I'd blown 480 of them in the first run because I'd finding out. So it was the last credit. I was like, oh, this last one, and I got it. And it was a $500 photo job in fucking Jurien Bay.
Oh, serious?
In the thing. And it was like a 4-hour turnaround trip for a 45-minute photography session.
Excited about
$500. But I was like, all right, I've made my money back. Let's kick on. And then that started flowing. But then I realized that specific One Flare service was only really for people with a budget of maximum $2,000. So I need to get out of that really quickly. Then I had my TikTok, and then my biggest aha moment was when someone asked me, what do you do on weekends when you're not teaching? I made a video about it and said I was a wedding photographer. I got 2 bookings from that video. So that was the big one. I got 45% of my leads from TikTok organically. And then the other tactic I had was on Facebook groups. So I joined all of the Facebook groups where I reckon the engaged girls were in, and I would just talk to them on there.
Yeah, I've heard this, man, even with painting as well. People doing community groups and that, and then just saying, we're coming here. One of my proteges that I was mentoring, he was up and coming at the time. When he was 17, 18, he went into a Facebook group, like motivated from my idea. He would go and join high school ball dress for sale groups. That's good.
And he would
He's a man on a mission.
Photos that he saw of the dresses because they're all the fucking same dresses. And he goes, oh, that's an awesome one. No, here's a photo of one I took at the ball the other week at Kings Park.
Oh, okay.
Cleaned up more clients, right? And then so it was, and I teach this in my marketing classes, in my marketing workshops, but organic was TikTok, cold outreach was Facebook groups because that's technically cold outreach. But I'd also answer questions in those chats as well as videos. Yep. But then I'd also farm their questions as content organically, so they kind of like work both ways. And then I never ran ads because the one time I tried, I found this random ads dude, gave him $5,000. He got me nothing. That was, so I hated ads since then. Now I love them because I found someone else decent. He sponsors this podcast. And the fourth way was physical outreach. In the field. And we had exhibitions like at the exhibition center or Claremont Showgrounds. And it just comes to me. This is a creative. So marketing and creative. I was like, what if I call up the organizer a month in advance and ask her if she needed a photographer to cover the event and just do it for free? Why would she say no?
Why would she say no?
Right?
Yeah.
So it happened. She said yes. I went in there and I said to her, one condition, I can send the photos individually to the people I take. She's like, yeah, less work for me. Sick. Walked around, had the most fun, massive email list of all the brides-to-be, whilst all my competitors were paying.
What event was this at?
Like a wedding expo.
Oh, at a wedding expo.
Yeah. So all my wedding photographer competitors were paying $500 each to set up a booth to stand in all day going.
You've just undercut them all.
And then there's me going, take a photo. I was taking a photo of all of them and giving them their photos. And anyway, I get there at night and get home at night. And flick them all the brides with the photographer, because I had the setup list, and my signature said wedding photographer. I booked out from that. Just that.
Yeah, crazy.
It was like 2 years later, because I was booked out, another expo coming up. I don't need to be there, but I'm going to go for fun.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring any cameras. I just brought my microphone because I was doing interviews.
Red mic.
Yeah, the red mic.
No, baby.
And I'd go up to people and it was awesome because I would just put on my story. I interviewed everybody.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some people got jealous and saw my tactics, even though I wasn't really there for myself at all.
Yeah.
And they said to the organizer that I was selling interviews for $50 each. And I was like, okay,
jealous.
that's fucked.
Yeah.
And then the other one was I was wearing my mate's DJ t-shirt, so they thought I was spruiking everyone to go to that booth, which I wasn't.
Which you weren't.
And then at the end of the night, the lady, the original coordinator, she goes, Sev, you're no longer welcome to these events, you're banned. I was like, why?
Oh, serious?
Why?
Nah, friend, that's politics, man.
I pleaded my case
politics,
and she
you don't
goes,
even plead it. I would have said no worries.
Yeah. No, I said no worries, but in my head I was like, I understand where you're coming from because you have your reputation, like it's me or a lot of other people.
Yeah,
I get it. So no hate to her.
Yeah, and you're
but
not.
Those
they're
people,
taking. Yeah, you're taking her equity off the table because they're gonna.
The funny thing is, I have not seen anyone do it since.
Yeah.
Like there've been some absolute hustlers in the ad space.
Yeah.
Who have dominated. Like this guy, Bailey here, he's crushing in the ad space and organic. And now I'm seeing ads for how to do wedding photography ads and book out 30, 40, 50K months. I was like, I was doing that organically, bro.
You know how I was cold? You know how you're talking about cold calling?
Yeah.
When I was finishing up teaching every lunch and recess and that, man, I would sit there, find a big creative company in I looked up basically the main cities in the world that had an arts hub or whatever, and then we'll just look up their galleries and then would go to who they're following because it would be less people, it might be 100. Then I would just sit there at lunch or recess, go through every follower until I found one of the management team that had a tiny following that was a part of that gallery, and then would just message them directly.
Easy.
And then I was going and painting overseas and everything else. People were like, how are you getting jobs here? And I'd be like, just spend an hour just not being lazy and just looking for that way. The same way you were talking about creating those opportunities to chat to someone, and then once you're a person and you're not a number, then
if you want it badly enough and you're creative enough to talk to the people, I wouldn't mind doing one Italy wedding a year. I love Italy.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Well, you speak to the people there that can refer you. Yeah. Or you find out who wants to get married in Italy but wants an Australian photographer who has the budget to fly them over. And then charge them 20 grand, but that 20 grand covers me, my wife and my daughter.
Exactly.
And the accommodation that's covered, and then spending money and it's a day's work. What a trade-off.
And free holiday, you're working, everything's paid for. I just got back from Saudi Arabia a fortnight ago.
Nice. How'd you get the gig?
A guy I'm mates with, Timbo Puck Life, who lives in Thailand. His mate, this is a convoluted story, I'll say a quick version. His mate owns Gym Nation. They're massive in Dubai. Gyms are a weird place over in the UAE. And he's opening gyms in Riyadh. I saw he put it on his story and he had people painting there. Now, I didn't even know that there was much graffiti going on in the Gulf. And when I messaged him, he said, man, you want to get your work in Riyadh City. There's so much money there. So I just started running a terrible ad in Riyadh, one ad for 2 weeks. And then I got a message from some woman that was an arts teacher that through the ad clicked on my page and saw that I taught modules around graph and sent me a message and said, hey, Adam, would you come to Saudi Arabia from these dates? This was in December. And this is when I was having my son. And I was like, it's like late January. And I was like, is this a hack? I was like, yeah, I'll come. And bang, she sent over my flights, my itinerary, everything else, and then flew to Saudi just from a conversation with another bloke that there's money in Riyadh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the same sort of thing. It was that organic conversation. I just started thinking, okay, how are we going to get there? What are we going to push? And then every person that was coming through that was messaging me off this ad, and I knew that the ad that I was running would definitely appeal to the people in Riyadh because I was painting rugs and the market for it there's so much wealth. So I knew that someone was going to buy it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So then going back to after you finished school, you're starting to get gigs. Has there been any setbacks or major problems since?
No.
Cool.
A few, like my scissor lift just keep getting ransacked, shit like that.
Yeah.
Small on-site issues.
Yeah.
But in terms of now it's more so around how do you grow. I've only got X amount of hours. Just become a father like yourself, and then now it's okay. My processes are falling short. So the last month has been every night. Okay, what are we doing to build out workflows? Who are we hiring? What's going on to start to build? I can't do admin every night. So I'm doing my admin on the weekend. Liv was doing my admin, now she can't, she's with the little man. So now it's about, okay, I need admin staff twice a week. I've just hired an editor to do a few hours a day, try and get them, grow them out, and just stuff like that, because the process was just starting to fall off with the at the rate that I want to grow in terms of how much social media I can get out every day and stuff like that.
Right.
That's the only complication.
Yeah, I mean, your page is pretty impressive, and obviously the murals. I saw the cat that you did. Man, that's my favorite that I saw.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was a brief scroll because I'm trying to avoid, like, keep my screen time downtime.
Yeah.
But I saw that cat. I was like, far out. That looks.
And that's why I was fanboying.
Real.
Thank you, man. And I don't mean to cut you off, but that's why I was fanboying you when I saw you at IGA. And just to give the audience a bit of context, I saw Sev's in IGA. I was just looking up, and I as soon as we walked around the aisle, I said, "Oh, Liv, that's Sev's pics." She was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Man, same background as me. He was a teacher, and now he does content and marketing, whatever else." I was like, "Oh, if we dummy around this end here, I'm definitely going to say hello to him." And she was like, "Yeah, no dramas." And then, man, I didn't even know where we were going. And then she was like, "I want a drink," and luckily it was at Fridge Roll. And I was like, and then when we were near, I was like, "Hey, Sevs, how are you?"
So good.
But it was because I just knew of your story and was frothing, and I knew that you'd you
Man, there's going to be shit that's going to come out of this.
Yeah.
Like, already we were talking here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because, like, your story about how you got flown out there to the UAE, I'm just like, man, I need to hustle more because there's every opportunity I can leverage all of my stuff.
Yeah.
I've just been struggling for the last few years because I've been in a kind of a personal rebrand, because I've always been in it for the kids. I still am, but I've never had anything to sell from my personal brand.
Yeah.
It's always been by association. People go, "Oh, you're Sev.
Yeah.
Oh, you got this business. We're going to hire you."
Yeah.
It was never directly from the brand that I would advertise. It was just like, "Oh, you're that guy too? Oh, sick."
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's why, like, this business works as well. It's leveraged by my personal brand and all the rest. And people ask to teach, like, they want me to teach them how to do that. I was like, are you extroverted enough, and do you have any social anxiety?
Yeah.
If they're too introverted and they have social anxiety,
and we all get it's all part of it. But
I mean, if your personal brand is introverted and social anxiety, lean into that
all
somehow.
Fucking weird, man.
But a lot of influencers actually are closet introverts.
Yeah.
They're like, seriously, they get anxiety. They all flag themselves with ADHD, and I'm just like, mate, you're just distracted by shit, and you're worried about fear of judgment. You're fine. And then I come out and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I want to take every opportunity as long as it's good. And then I get big opportunities that I can't speak about on camera because I've got NDAs, but I've got them, and I'm like, wow, that is something I didn't even think was possible right now. And to the brands that I work with under the table, not under the table, but secretly, it's a journey that only happens if you put yourself out there.
100%.
So you put yourself out there.
And it is nerve-wracking, man. Sometimes you got to build that breadth as well. Naturally, I'm extroverted, but sometimes, man, I don't really feel like it. And it's not to the point where I'll be rude. Like, if I see someone near me and I'm having a quiet day, it's not introverted to a point where it's like, hey, man, how are you? I'm just cooked, man. I'm spent. I'll catch up with you. It's not like a awkward, like, I'm being awkward. Yeah. It's like, I know that I'm being awkward because I'm tired, and I'll just say, fuck, I feel off, man. How are you? What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, there's a bit of that.
My biggest thing though was when the kids would ask me for a photo, and I'd ask them, why do you like my content? And they'd say, because you're funny. Or, I like your content. I was like, which content specifically? They couldn't give me an answer. It took me back to, school where, like, the popular kids were popular and they just were popular. Everybody idolized them. I wasn't the popular kid. I was a nerd, even though I played footy. But now I'm like, I got the popularity, and people only associate to take a photo with you because of the popularity. There's no breadth. There's no depth. There's nothing. And I hate that. And I want the kids to message me saying, Sev, you changed my life because you did this thing. And I get a message every day from a kid saying, Sev, I want to do this. How do I do it? And that's now what I've got as a product on my, or a service
people look up
on
to
my page.
You've broken out, and they're trying to navigate a world that they don't understand. So.
But I finally have something to sell, and I'm building a school, which is, the Alex Cicanese school thing.
Yeah. You're building a school.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So it's going to be a stage 1, escape the 9 to 5. So it's going to be applicable to teachers and anyone who hates their employment job and wants to pivot. And the stage 2 are business owners already who want to go to the next level. So can
I ask what's a monthly subscription on there?
So I'm trying to figure out the pricing. A few of my mates, they've got big schools already, and they've got 500 to 1,000 members, and they're charging $200 USD each.
What, a month?
Yeah. And I'm like,
far out, man.
Far out. That's awesome.
They're crushing.
But
you don't even need to do that, man.
But their students are getting results.
Okay.
So they're getting, their ROI is really good, net positive. So I'm thinking something between $50-$60 a month, but I can only charge it if people are taking action. And if they don't take action, don't join the group.
Yeah.
Right? But there's going to be 6 different modules. I won't say them all off by heart, but it's literally, it's not a course. It's literally whatever your problem is, one of these 6 modules will solve it for you.
Yep.
And I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
And then if it's still too complex, they're going to ask me questions. And then I'll answer in video that will evolve the thing. Then the other aspect of the school community I'm going to have is if there's a specific problem that they don't want to solve. So they come in, this is school, they watch the modules, or they look at the templates or the exercises that help them unblock their whatever it is, the bottleneck. If they still don't want to do it themselves, then I introduce them to people that they can pay to do it for them.
Yep.
So, for example, I'm sick of making content for other people.
Yep.
There's a few people that I love making content for because they just give me full creative reign and it works. But there's other people that most people are just pain in the ass. They're just like, I want it like this. And I'm like, it's not going to work. But okay, I'm going to make it for you. And it doesn't work. And I have no creativity whatsoever with it.
And you're paying me for a service that I know is going to work, and then you're telling me how to
creative.
That's where that creative block comes.
That's bullshit. So I don't want to do that anymore. But I have people who love doing that and live and breathe, going, "Yep, no problem."
Yeah,
absolutely. They're kind of like that hybrid between employee and employer.
But you won't need to work with them anyways.
No, but that wingmanship that I want to build.
Yeah,
it's like I love the idea of someone coming to me saying, Sev, I have a problem. I was like, go on. I need a mural for my job, for my workplace. It's just something's missing there and I just can't find the right person. Everyone's just like, bad. I was like, have you met Adam?
Let's go.
And then you get the gig. I get the satisfaction that I got you work and then you're going to do a good job because your shit's cool.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, whoa, thank you, Sev.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Adam's work. But I'm trying to now figure out how to navigate that to make money from it, right? How do I make money to be the connector? Shawshank Redemption.
Can I offer you something that I've been thinking about?
Go on.
I make modules around painting, and once they're there and you buy access to them, you get all the modules. So I don't have anything like that. But I've thought about the school side of things, and I've always thought, and you can. This is what I reckon would be amazing if I was buying your school. You have these connections that I don't have. I can't message the same person you can message and ask them the questions I want. They're not going to reply. So the people that are in the school submitting you questions, you can say in a fortnight's time, we're having an exclusive podcast where you can either jump in the chat and write your messages like whatever. And then as a result, you film that and release it to them. And then years later, you can release it through your podcast. So it does that. But the same sort of thing is I've always thought that if I made an art community or whatever else, The reason why I want the connection with this artist is because they know this, and I would love to meet them or have a chat to them. And you're that pillar in the same way, and your communication is through the roof. So like, I would love to know that if I was in your community, like on a Monday night, you're going to be answering questions, but also your mate's going to jump in who also does this, and then it's just a round robin.
Yeah. So that's the third aspect.
Yeah.
So the 2 stages, the wingmanship, and then that third aspect of, we're going to call it like a town hall.
Yeah, yep.
Every week there's going to be a 90-minute Q&A.
Yep.
Whether it's just me or a guest speaker coming in that has crushed it. Like I know some of the big heavy hitters in the space. Like I know Simon Squibb, you know, the guy that comes up to people, what's your dream?
Yeah.
He's been on the podcast.
Okay.
Tom Nosk, another guy who's incredible creative, who helps creators launch their product online.
Yeah.
These
people are incredible.
Yeah. And then got Brandon Willington, the Where You guy, the guy that
yes.
We're going to do we're good mates and we're overdue for a podcast, but
yeah. He's crushing it.
Yeah, he's crushing it. He's crazy good. And just these people in these specific areas that are just, they are the best at what they do, but they're so locked in that no one knows, or they haven't built a personal brand because they're just locked in. And I've done it the other way around. I've done the personal brand first, and then now I'm kind of like not having an identity crisis, but I'm like, who am I? What is my thing that I can monetize, that I can just absolutely go ham with? I don't want it to be my artistic creative. I've decided.
Okay.
My photography
is what you want to do.
You know Tom from MySpace?
Tom from MySpace. Is that Tom, like the
Tom,
guy, the main
guy?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I think it's Tom Anderson, his name is.
Okay.
When he exited MySpace, he sold it for like $560 million. He went and just traveled and took photos.
Oh,
no algorithms, no meetings or anything for a long time. You go on his Instagram page, it's incredible. And I'm like, that. And he would share it, he wouldn't give a fuck. Now he's come back and slowly starting to look some venture capital stuff. But like the ability to unlock that, you know, that's cool, man. And right now, my creative outlet or my thinking outside of this space outlet is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram.
Dude, that is like gyms around the world are asking me to come visit when I'm in town.
Yeah, it's cool.
They don't obviously have the budget to fly me over.
Yeah.
But man, like, far out, what an opportunity.
But does that give you that new, like, you feel like you're starting again, which is
100%.
super exciting? That's what's cool, hey?
That's like fresh air sort of feeling.
Yeah. That's what's, And it's always very humbling having a new skill that you need to learn. It's the same what you hear so many people speak about that. But yeah, it's why I try and like train as much as I can. Obviously, at the moment with a newborn, it's hard. But to try and do something really hard, like I'll try and do a hectic leg session on a Sunday just so it fucks me up. So I'm like Monday's easy. You know what I mean?
I've got to ask you about the creative marketing side of your business, because I have a lot of creatives asking me, Sev, I'm an artist. I do great work, and I look at it, I'm like, absolutely you do. They're like, but I'm not getting enough business. How can I do better? What's your creative process when it comes to marketing your creative art to get more customers?
Trial and error. They're probably saying it from a perspective they haven't even tried it themselves. I'm now like 4.5 years into trying to make a video every day. So you just naturally have a process where I'm like, as soon as I film a video, man, and I don't film, I document, so I just film the whole day. End of the day, I sit there at night, cooking a barbie, quickly, one headphone in, multitasking. I'm like, yep, that's the hook, bang, that'll go hard. Yep, this, 15 seconds.
What app do you use?
Man, I use everything. At the moment, man, I'm literally just editing fast in TikTok, talking over it,
nice.
Posting it. When it downloads, put it in the captions app, chuck it
so
on Instagram.
limit the friction.
Yeah, and like, and the good thing is about TikTok as well is I'll post it 4 times. I don't use that as my main outlet, and it converts on Instagram.
So wait, what do you mean post it 4 times?
I'll try 4 or 5 different hooks on it. Say if I like edit the same video quickly in TikTok, I'll know that video is going to do really well. But then say if I've filmed all day and I've got 3 hooks, so I'll post that and then I'll just post it in TikTok 3 more times with a new hook.
How
on every
close
single
together
video,
do you post them?
Straight away while I'm making dinner.
So you have 4 of the exact same video up.
Yeah.
And how long do you give them before you decide on a winner?
Whatever, however, like I'll try and if I can do it at breakfast, and then at night time I'll post whichever one's trending the hardest on Instagram, or the following morning.
So you delete the other 3?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But if they're all kind of doing all right, I'm like, who gives a shit? Yeah.
That's so good.
I'll just leave them up there. And then like, also, you know what I do, man, is like, say I edit a module, it's like 10 minutes, it'll go on TikTok. So I just leave that up completely raw and leave it on there. Then I edit out 7 versions of that for Instagram. And then I just post all 7 of those on TikTok as well. And normally it's the raw unedited one that does really well.
Bro, did you know like there's someone charging $1,000 for the information you just gave away for free?
Yeah. Yeah. Come to me, mate. Give me some. Nah. But yeah, that's
school, bro.
Yeah, that's that's kind of the operation I'm running. So
that's dope.
And then whatever, same thing. Whatever.
Yeah. Do you do trial reels or anything like that?
Nah.
Because that's kind of what you're doing, but you're using TikTok as the trial.
I kind of know it's going to go.
Yeah. When you know, but there's sometimes when
sometimes they don't. Yeah, I know.
You get disappointed and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, once you pass that disappointment and you realize it's steady growth,
yeah,
then it's kind of all right.
Yeah.
But you get those big ticket items that, like my biggest ticket items in terms of engagement do terribly in terms of converting business. So I don't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I saw you actually say something about that.
Top of the funnel.
Yeah.
Top of the funnel. Your low hanging fruit. Your broad audience.
Yeah,
your broad audience aren't your customers.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, there are like speckles of people that are going to be in that broad audience, but the ratio is going to be like whack. Like 1 million views does not mean you're going to have 1 million customers. If you niche down to 100 views, you're going to have a better return. And like today, for example, I posted a video about my client, one of my personal training clients. He posted a video about some knees hurting after the workout.
Yeah.
1,000 views. Terrible. He got a $5,000 client from it.
Yeah, crazy.
That's a win.
Crazy, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Most people that have posted a 100,000 view video have gotten $0.
Yeah.
So...
And if you can mirror that up, and that's what I'm talking about with trial and error, like I'll give you an example. 2.5, 3 years ago, I made a video of my partner, which was a 1-line drawing. It did really well. I only did that 1-line drawing because I needed some freedom from painting, and I also needed something that felt like a snapshot show. It was something that looked engaging, that felt engaging. So it was a final art piece, but it also had that feeling it was viewed. I've been doing that now for 2.5 years. And everyone that I paint with are like, man, why the fuck are you doing 1 line? Like, it shows nothing. But to me, it gave me a feeling because it felt like I could, F the painting up. So it gave me that kind of feeling that it was raw and organic. And it gave me this feeling that I was creating something for myself. And now 3 years later, I'm now starting to get a lot of messages to create these paintings for people. And it's very slow, but at the time it was never for money. It was because it gave me that outlet. And now I've sold 2 this week for $4,000 for 2. So it's and they took me 1:30 each, and it's the first time ever. And I never but that also has they're buying when and how's this? The client asked me, "Man, have you posted the video of the painting yet?" And I was like, "No, not yet." And I was like, I go, I haven't done that yet. I wanted to give you the paintings first. He goes, no, post the video. So what I'm saying, and that's just a trial and error there where I know that he's been seeing now for 3 years me doing these 1-line paintings, and now that minute video is probably what he's going to show everyone that comes into his home. And it's that engagement's there.
That's branding.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's same story as mine. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I had this dream for the last 10 years for my photography, my creative photography.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to I'll do this eventually, but I'm trying to figure out how I can bring back my original Sev's Pick stuff where I would release a print.
Yep.
Maximum of 10 prints. They're all signed. They're all numbered, little gold thing in the corner. Of like this print, and I would tell a story. It'd be the content piece. Like, I'm going out and taking a banger today.
Yeah,
it's going to be of this. I'm seeing it. It's going to be sick. Now. And people follow the story, bang, 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 and then there it is. And they can screenshot it, make it their wallpaper. Who gives a fuck? But then I'm going to be like, you can buy this print, but there's only 10 available. And I'm going to make a website. It's going to have like a little marketplace. Like you can buy it, whatever. Once the 10 are gone, that's it.
Yeah.
And then, can you imagine like...
They'll be hot pockets, man. They'll go like crazy.
And then eventually there'll be like a little black market where people are like, I've got an original Sev's Pics.
Yeah.
Fucking photo of this pelican on a lamp with this eyeball.
And
it's the first
That's what people want to buy.
Yeah. That's always been my, like, if I was to sell anything from my photography, it would be that. The best thing is it's not commission, it's what I want.
Yeah, it's what
it's
you
me.
want. And that's what these one-line drawings for me.
Right.
Same thing. No one wants it. No one wanted them for 3 years.
And like I've got the printing, the framing, all of that sorted, the colours. And I don't even care anymore, like, if people want to buy it because it's mine, right? And then sell a print for $1,000.
Yeah.
And then make 10 grand per drop and just do one every month.
Yeah,
dude,
it's crazy.
120 grand, no worries.
It's crazy.
Just for taking photos. But you have to get there. You have to build the brand.
Build the brand.
You have to hone your craft, and you have to be a good storyteller to then market your stuff for people to go, I've got a Sev's Picks thing. And then eventually, like, you have a little gallery or whatever.
Yeah.
The NFT thing that came out for a moment in time, I thought that was interesting, because it's like, what if every resale from that, again, you get a commission out of it? That was the only thing I liked about NFTs for that.
Rogue idea. So they're posting the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I want to put this idea out there. Well, maybe someone will do it. Who knows? The worth of the ones that famous people had bought, and obviously because they sit on a marketplace, you can probably offer to buy them. So you could like buy Justin Bieber's Bored Ape now for 12 grand. He paid 1.4 million for it. So, but when you buy it, you get the rights to it. So I was thinking, like, what if I bought his Bored Ape and then painted that Bored Ape with a painting of him crying, because he's Bored Ape, he is crying, and then say I bought this off Justin Bieber for 12 grand, he paid 1.2 million. So just like, and not Justin Bieber, it was just the one I was looking at, but like all these famous people paid. So at some point, that what you've just bought was worth that, and then just by doing that, you will increase the worth of that tenfold anyways. Yeah, but I was looking at the other day thinking about that.
Man, I got sucked into that stuff back then.
I was on there trading every morning at 4 a.m. before teaching. Get up every morning.
You were that crypto tragic? No.
I'd made a little NFT drop, and I was jumping on a live auction house every Monday morning and speaking about it. And then and now one of the guys that's in there, two of the guys that are in there, I still speak to, and they're writers from over in Melbourne, and they were the top dudes in the auction house. They were selling their NFTs every morning for like $1,200, $800. I was getting like $84 on the way to teaching, man. And I was like, yes, let's go. So
yeah, I remember those days, but those days are fortunately behind us. Who knows what will happen this time around with all this crypto stuff. I think the most valuable thing to me when I want to buy art is this a print or an original?
Yeah.
With photos, it's obviously going to be a print, but if it's an actual physical hand-drawn thing, I want that. I want to see that pencil etching like that.
You're explaining these one-line drawings I'm doing. I just love to hear that.
You know, but then also the mural.
That's what they want.
But also the mural. The mural is the original one of one that can't really be printed. You can take a photo.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. That's why there's such a. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and have you seen? Yeah, what's your favorite mural? We'll go to the fast questions now. So quick answers. Favorite mural that you've seen out there?
Okay, I won't say favorite mural, but I'm obsessed with the Slawn Cause unofficial collab that he ripped off Slawn, because part of painting is disrupting. It's similar to kind of Banksy in a way, where he disrupts the market by ripping off a dude that used to rip off other people's stuff, doing an illegal release in LA where he said it was an official release. And since that, he's become one of the biggest artists in the world within 2 years.
Crazy. What's your favorite form of art outside your own?
Train painting graffiti. Something to it, freedom of it. I know it's very different to what I do because I paint murals legally. So it's a complete polar opposite, and it's something that I should say that I hate, being in the public realm and painting murals. But
I think it's cool.
But I just think there's such a there's such a selfish endeavor that you need to be willing to F up your whole life and give away absolutely everything for your drive and passion of art that I am never going to do. But I incredibly some days think, hat off to you, because there's these certain dudes, man, that travel the world. They've got nothing. They can't go back to their own countries, and it's the polar opposite of what I want to do, because I'm in bed by 9 watching The Walking Dead. But it is an incredible endeavor that, it's hectic, man.
Nice. This shirt, did you make the shirt?
This is from the Pilbara Kid, which is a brand from the Pilbara by Hayley. She's incredible. We did a collab recently, but this is not our collab. I just frothed this one, and it was on the line as I was leaving. Maybe. It has a chicken. I think it has a rooster on it, but it's got the map of the Pilbara, and I've been spending a bit of time there and doing some stuff with them. And it's crazy. This brand, particularly around branding, man, they're hectic. Like, you go to the Pilbara and every little kid in Karratha, Dampier, all they wear is a Pilbara kid. Anyone outside of the Pilbara won't know about the brand, and she's absolutely crushing it. No personal brand, but does a pop-up inside Karratha shops, man, near Woolies, and sells out. And yeah, so big shout outs to them. I've been living in them.
It looks cool, man.
It's cool, hey? Cool. Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of like a young, you know, when you see a dad in like a fishing shirt?
Yeah.
That's what I froth. I like get a lot of looks in that, but yeah, it's elite and working in them there.
Yeah. How's dad life changed your perspective on life?
I was thinking really heavily around my comms today and not wanting to swear, because in every other interview I've done, I've sworn like a chimney. And
I've done well, didn't I?
And yeah, but my old man would always say, don't swear. And I was like, unlucky champ. But now I'm a father. I think at some point Eli's going to grow up, and does he want to hear his dad saying, fuck you every 2 seconds? But yeah, no, so I was just, and also you just want to be, like, you just want to be kind to people because you want him to be the same. Just think about it a bit more. Just think when I've been an arsehole and I'm like, fuck, he's going to look at me. Like, I would hate for him to see me like operating like that. So, yeah, I think about that a bit more.
The one thing I've seen in myself is, even though complacency isn't your best friend at all, there's absolutely no room for it once you become a father.
None.
You've got zero hope. If you have complacency still in your veins, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
That's my kind of 2 cents on fatherhood. Perspective on going back to look at the people who haven't had children yet, whether or not they choose to, they have so much more time.
Oh, man.
So much more freedom. And that's where that complacency can become a burden without even realizing it. For me, it's like I get up at 4 most days so I can talk to my US, UK and over East clients or students. If I sleep in, I don't make as much money. And man, some days when I sleep in, it's a luxury. Because I know I've just...
I haven't. I don't know.
I've just spent... I've just lost, not lost, but I didn't make the $700 odd I would have made if I woke up 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
And man, that's like, you have to go to bed earlier and you have to hope that the missus is clutch with the breastfeeding.
It's changed my perspective on, and this is going to upset a lot of men, the roles of men and women, male and female, blah, blah, blah. Women are a lot less selfish than men in their endeavors naturally around their biological makeup and how they have to do X, Y, and Z for a child. Mm-hmm. We just make content, go out, pump it, work.
Why would that upset
X, Y,
men?
Z? Because they don't know, because they want it to stay like that. So I've said it, and I keep it down, mate, because we want to keep him there. You know, we want to keep him in the bedroom. That's like the, that's the joke. But what I mean is like, man, I get to take off, and like I've been working from home the last few days, and I see how hard it is for Liv. Our little man doesn't want to sleep, so I just see he's just yelling all day, and I go in there and I do one cycle. Like I'll give him not yelling all day. We're trying a new sleep schedule, and in between that he's just loud and whatever else. And I'm in there trying to settle him and whatnot. I'm thinking, fuck this. I want to go to site and start painting. You know, so and she's doing that for 24 hours of the day. Like I get up and do a few bottles a night and whatnot. But men, we can go, oh, you're breastfeeding, I can't get up, so I get extra hours of sleep. Men say, I'm the main breadwinner, so I'm actually going to take off to work. You look after the little man. So in a way, we have these over time, this historical thing where men must be the bread. But as a result, it naturally, the child needs the woman.
Yeah.
Or their mother. But we get left in a really formidable position in comparison to what we're both doing right now. Like the back end of last year, man, Liv and I, we travel together and she paints with me, and she can't do that. And it's at the moment, she's like, all I want to do one day is start coming to work and grabbing a paintbrush. So we're trying to work out, okay, if I've got a job set up, can I stay at home for the day and she can go to site? So just things like that makes me
love that. One final question about your humanities, your HAS teaching. What is the one topic in HAS that you go, that's important to learn for every kid?
From a logistical point of view, what people need is obviously the economic side of things. At that point in time, it's for a child at that age of development being 16, they are getting taught that. They say, I was never taught that by my teacher. It is being taught. You can't apply that, so therefore you cast it out. There's no knowledge retention there. So I would say that economics would be really important, but no one gives a shit about it at that age. I think the history of Australia is really important, and our curriculum is shifting around that, because we teach our curriculum from 1788. We should be teaching it earlier and around Aboriginal history, and that would give a lot more enrichment to kids as they grow up. I was lucky that I taught in a really multicultural school, so there wasn't a lot of racism, but just with the online now and the influx of US impacting our kids, I think it's super important to be teaching Australian history pre-British colonisation, just so it gives a bit, and just so it gives some understanding and some love for our nation, so that we can all love each other and recognise that, you know, we are Aussie, and part of that is our Aboriginal history, whether you're Aboriginal or not. That's where we are. That's where we're from. And I think that's really important.
What is the one subject in-house that's like completely like doesn't matter?
All the rest
Civics.
of it, man. All the rest of it. And yeah, like, I don't know. I just think so much of it doesn't directly relate to these kids, man. It's just acts at all. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I left, because you're just teaching shit. And they say study history because it's coming back around. That's true. And you can do that when you're a young adult. But when these kids are 15, 16, they need that hour to be learning life skills. They don't need that hour to be learning about something to do with World War II.
Yeah. I've got all the history books about World War II.
Yeah, I love it now, man. That's why, it's cool, but they don't give a shit.
It's the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
I thought you'd get into that.
Black Plague.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So, Adam, thanks very much for coming in. Is there one piece of advice that you can tell the kids, to anyone out there, about anything in the world? What would it be?
Start today. Whatever's going on in your brain, start it, say it out loud. If you're feeling energetic about something, see it through. Which camera should I look into here? That one. If you've got an idea and you're thinking about it at night time, put it out to the world. If you're feeling insecure about something, tell it to someone. If you've worked up about something, say it. Anything you say is halved, and any idea you start, you'll see through. But if you keep it all in here, you're going to cook yourself, mate, and you deserve more for yourself. But awesome. that's I think a lot of the time we're in this world where again around judgment and we overthink that. Whereas if you just get it out there and go hard on it and double down on it, you'll surprise yourself.
Love that. Awesome. So where do we reach out to you if we want a mural done at our spot?
At Art by Row on anything.
It's in the show notes. Thanks for coming in.
I will say, Sebs, thank you. When I saw you in the shops, mate, bit of a fanboy. Your journey exceeds mine, and the stuff you've done on TikTok, I'd heard and seen about it. At the time where you were blowing up on TikTok, I didn't have TikTok, but I actually had a few mates that had told me about you, and I had one mate that had said, you need to speak to Sevs. So, and this was years ago, so I'm grateful that I saw you in IGA the other day, and I think and when you're seeing someone in real life that you look up to, you should go say hello. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. All right, guys, you know what to do. Leave a comment, leave a review, 5 stars only. If it deserves less than 5 stars, let me know first so I can improve it, and then you can give me 5 stars, because I like 5 stars only. Leave a comment in YouTube, to Spotify, all of that stuff. You'll be the first. I don't think I've ever gotten a comment, but
leave a comment. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. And go check out Adam's work, and I'll see you on the next one.